Article 1, Sections 4, 5, 6, and 7. Article 1, Section 4, Paragraph 1. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. But the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations, except as to the place of choosing senators.
The state legislatures have the authority to choose when, where, and how elections for the House and Senate may occur, but Congress has the authority to pass laws that would overrule them if necessary, except in choosing the place to elect senators. Hamilton, Federalist 61.
If each state may choose its own time of election, it is possible there may be at least as many different periods as there are months in the year. The times of election in the several states, as they are now established for local purposes, vary between extremes as wide as March and November. The consequence of this diversity would be that there could never happen a total dissolution or renovation of the body at one time.
To ensure that federal elections happened at the same time in the states, it was necessary for Congress to have this authority.
Article 1, Section 4, Paragraph 2. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall by law appoint a different day.
Congress is required by the Constitution to meet at least once per year and has the authority to decide when that meeting or meetings shall take place.
Article 1, Section 5, Paragraph 1. Each House shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members, and a majority of each shall constitute a quorum to do business. But a smaller number may adjourn from day to day, and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and under such penalties as each House may provide.
Section 5 gives the House and Senate the authority to review the election returns and qualifications of each of its members. In order to conduct business, a majority, or more than half, of the members of each House need to be present. It is not necessary for all members to be in attendance in order to do so. If members are absent, they can be forced to attend by the members present, and if they fail to appear, they can be punished by the other members.
Article 1, Section 5, Paragraph 2. Each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel a member.
The rules of each House are created by the members of that House, and if any representative or senator is in violation of the stated rules or has exhibited disorderly behavior, that person can be ejected from Congress by a 2/3 vote of the body in which they serve.
Article 1, Section 5, Paragraph 3. Each House shall keep a journal of its proceedings, and from time to time publish the same, excepting such parts as may in their judgment require secrecy. And the yeas and the nays of the members of either House on any question shall, at the desire of 1/5 of those present, be entered on the journal.
The House and Senate are required to keep a record of everything that happens in each while in session, and that record is to be made public periodically. If anything occurs that requires secrecy, it is not necessary to include it in the journal. If 1/5 of the members of each chamber requests it, the yes and no votes of every representative or senator are to be entered into the official record.
Article 1, Section 6, Paragraph 1. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services, to be ascertained by law, and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall in all cases, except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses, and in going to and returning from the same. And for any speech or debate in either house, they shall not be questioned in any other place.
Members of the House and Senate are to be paid for serving. The amount of payment is to be set into law by Congress. Senators and representatives may not be arrested while in session or traveling to or from being in session, except for treason, felonies, or breaching the peace. They have freedom to say anything at all during session in Congress and cannot legally be punished for doing so in any place other than in Congress itself. This is so that members can speak freely without the threat of legal action against them from the other two branches.
Article 1, Section 6, Paragraph 2. No senator or representative shall, during the time for which he was elected, be appointed to any civil office under the authority of the United States which shall have been created, or the emoluments whereof shall have been increased during such time. And no person holding any office under the United States shall be a member of either house during his continuance in office.
Members of Congress can't be appointed to any office that was created during their term, or to any position in which the pay was increased during that term, and they may not hold any other federal office or position while serving their term. This prevents Congress from creating lucrative positions for themselves and prevents the President from appointing members of Congress to newly created offices, which would keep them from legislating.
Article 1, Section 7, Paragraph 1. All bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills.
While other bills may originate in the Senate, all legislation that would raise revenue for the federal government must be initiated in the House, the representatives of the people. That legislation then goes on to the Senate, the representatives of the states, to amend and or pass, or not pass at all.
Article 1, Section 7, Paragraph 2. Every bill which shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate shall, before it becomes a law, be presented to the President of the United States. If he approve, he shall sign it, but if not, he shall return it, with his objections to that House in which it shall have originated, who shall enter the objections at large on their journal, and proceed to reconsider it. If after reconsideration 2/3 of that House shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent, together with the objections, to the other House, by which it should likewise be reconsidered, and if approved by 2/3 of that House, it shall become a law. But in all such cases the votes of both Houses shall be determined by yeas and nays, and the names of the persons voting for and against the bill shall be entered on the journal of each House respectively. If any bill shall not be returned by the President within 10 days, Sundays excepted, after it shall have been presented to him, the same shall be a law, in like manner as if he had signed it, unless the Congress by their adjournment prevent its return, in which case it shall not be a law.
Once a bill is passed by both houses of Congress, it then goes to the President to either sign or reject, known as a veto, which we will discuss more in Article 2. If the President signs the bill, it becomes law. If rejected, the bill must be returned to whichever body originally created it, along with the reason or reasons for the rejection, which are to be listed in the journal of that House. If both houses vote to pass the bill with a 2/3 majority after being returned by the President, that bill becomes law. Congress can also consider the President's objections, amend the bill, pass the bill with the amendments, and resend it to the President. If that bill does not receive a 2/3 vote in both houses, or if it is not amended or passed after being amended, the bill dies and will not become law. All the votes in favor or not in favor of the bill, along with the names of every person voting and how they voted, are to be listed in the journal of each House. The President must sign or return bills within 10 days, not counting Sunday, or the bill automatically becomes law, unless Congress adjourns to keep the President from returning the bill, in which case it does not become a law.
Article 1, Section 7, Paragraph 3. Every order, resolution, or vote to which the concurrence of the Senate and House of Representatives may be necessary, except on a question of adjournment, shall be presented to the President of the United States, and before the same shall take effect, shall be approved by him, or being disapproved by him, shall be repassed by 2/3 of the Senate and House of Representatives, according to the rules and limitations prescribed in the case of a bill.
Paragraph 3 of Section 7 makes it clear that Congress cannot bypass the President in passing any bill or resolution. Everything passed by both chambers must be presented to the President for signature or rejection, except for when Congress should adjourn.